Hello, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this event of the Canadian Council for the Americas. We are going to start very soon. We are going to allow some time for guests to join the webinar. Thank you very much. Well, good morning, everyone. And let's see, we have here. Well, my name is Miguel Cortines, and I'm president of the Canadian Council for the Americas. And thank you very much for joining us this morning. And well, as you know, the Canadian Council for the Americas is a non-for-profit organization that has been in business since 1992. In 2 years, we are going to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the organization. So we're very proud of this organization. Basically, that's CCA does is to try to create more understanding about what is the Latin American market for Alberta companies and for Canadian companies as well. So we facilitate educational seminars, business-to-business meetings, and networking opportunities to impulse trade and investment opportunities for Alberta companies and Canadian companies in the Americas market, particularly in the Latin American market. So today we are launching a new program called Weekly Chats, CCA Que Pasa in Latin America Weekly Chats. And we want to have meaningful conversations, frequent conversations with guest speakers, talking about diverse topics, very diverse topics, not just energy, but also new technologies, sustainability, ESG, and different topics that are related to Latin America. CCA is an organization that has been very focused in the oil and gas sector for many years. But as part of our strategic plan, we want to be more open to other areas of opportunity. And we are welcome to work with our members as well in ideas. If you want to participate with us in some programs or activities, just feel free to connect with us. And we are very happy to connect. So, and with that, I would like to, today, we have this first session. We are planning this weekly chats. And basically, today we are presenting our board of directors. We want for you to know more about our directors and just to have a casual conversation about what they do. And I would like all of you that are here with me, if you can open your mics and your cameras, please, and we can start with the introduction. So I see some of you that are already here, and thank you very much. Okay, with that, I would like to start probably as I can see in my screen, and probably we have a very good board of directors. I'm going to mention all the board of directors first, and after I'm going to ask just to introduce yourselves as you are in my screen here. But we have as part of the board, Benigno Rojas Moreno with the government of Alberta, Carlos Solórzano with SMPS Legal, Damaris Zampini with Strategy, Guillermo Muñoz with projects in artificial intelligence, Frank Asprilla, international consultant, Karen Fosado with Rainmaker Global Business Development, Marisabel Pereira with Reliable Risk and a new project in in new technologies, Michael Burak with language IM, and Roger Machado with endurance technologies. And with that, probably I'm going to start. I don't know, Carl, if you want to introduce yourself and just very briefly, just a brief introduction, please.
Yes, I'm Carl Bauer. We have a base in Colombia, and we have worked in different regions in Latin America, being Argentina and Bolivia. And I'm also on the board of directors, secretary of the board of directors for our organization. And we have lots of interests and lots of different segues within the community, and happy to participate and lend any of our insights to anybody that wants to chat about them. This group has been a really core group and instrumental in helping us engage in different regions with the communities in Latin America, and happy to discuss it. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Carl. Roger Machado, please.
Oh, hi there. My name is Roger Machado. I work with Endurance Technologies. I'm a business development representative there. And Latin America is one of my territories. So the CCA has been very important for me in terms of making connections and understanding the market better. I'm originally from Latin America, and I worked 3 years in Mexico, 3 years in Venezuela, 4 years in Brazil. So I'm probably the most recent director in the board of directors. So I'm looking forward to contributing and helping other companies who are looking into Latin America to develop business there. And very happy to help and be part of this organization.
Thank you, Roger. Karen Fosado, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Karen Fosado, and I am a global partner with Rainmaker Global Business Development. I have been involved with the CCA Alberta off and on for at least 2 decades. And in fact, Miguel and I, the other day, were trying to calculate how many years we've known each other, which makes us, I think, well, me feel really old. Anyway, I enjoy this group very much. It's an incredible network. The board is comprised of very talented, very smart people, and it actually helps me do my job, which is to do business consulting and expansion consulting for Canadian companies who are interested in expanding into Latin America. I have a particular focus on Mexico, and very recently have been doing quite a bit of market research on the opportunities, incredible growing opportunities in Guyana and Suriname. And I think we'll have more about Guyana and Suriname in upcoming weekly chats, so stay tuned. And with that, I'll pass it on back to you, Miguel.
Thank you, Karen. Have Michael Burak, please.
Thanks, Miguel. Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Burak. I'm CEO of Languages in Motion. So in my day-to-day, I help people communicate through translation and interpreting services. So obviously you can see how that fits into Latin America. We do legal document translation for contracts, international contracts. We also bridge the communication gap with an interpreter network. So you can call into our interpreter phone line and access an interpreter for meetings and conferences. Yeah, I've been part of CCA now for about a year and a half. It's going on a little bit. I mean, as far as being on the board, I've been a member for almost, I guess, 5 years now. It's been a tremendous amount of benefit for me as far as learning things about Latin America, learning the landscape and understanding how people and cultures are connecting. And also, it's great to connect with people that are as members. I think it's always been a great networking opportunity for me just to learn about business and how things are going. And so, yeah, I'm very glad to be a part of this. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael. And Frank Asprilla, please.
Oh, thank you, Miguel. Good morning, everyone. My name is Franklin Asprilla. I am a business professional with over 2 decades of international job experience with a consistent successes in starting, building, improving profitability, performance, company value in different economic sectors such as retail, grocery, education, and finance. Because the sky is the limit for me. I am always looking for business opportunity. So right now, more than almost 2 years working with this such a great family, CCA, working very hard with my colleague board members, helping and educating Canadian company in order to find good opportunity in Latin America. Something that made me feel proud, happy. I'm very blessed for raise such a great family as are this CCA family for me. So that is everything for now. And I hope our members can find in CCA a good fund of resources and great opportunity to continue developing business in Latin America. Thank you.
Thank you, Franklin. And it's Benigno Rojas here with us as well.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Benigno Rojas. I'm the Director for Trade Relations, now in the Ministry of Jobs, Economy and Innovation within the government of Alberta. And yeah, it's a pleasure to be with all of you. And I think I'm one of the most senior members here in the organization. And so I've been a member of CCA for, I would say, probably Miguel and others that are here, Karen, also some of the senior ones, more than 15 years probably. And it says it all. I mean, I've been here in the organization because I see the benefits of creating business synergies and connections, which we all need, and especially right now with the situation we are living on. So happy to be here and sharing what we do. So part of my responsibility within the government of Alberta is assisting companies that are export ready and getting in international geo regions. It is not only Latin America, but other areas in the world. So one of them, again, is the Americas. So happy to be here and welcome you all. Thank you, Miguel.
Excellent, Benigno. Thank you very much. And just to remind everybody, this we want to be this as an open conversation. If you have any questions, you can put your questions in the chat, and we want to take advantage of the expertise of all the board of directors here that are with us, and also take advantage of all the experience that our members have in Latin America. We have a guest today from our partners in Latin America as well. We work very close with different chambers in Latin America, and they are joining as well the seminar. So. And these weekly chats is about to creating casual conversation to understand more what is happening. As you know, we are experiencing a new way of doing business with this pandemic that is accelerating the digital economy. So we are learning. We are in a learning process, I think, all of us. And these weekly chats is about to be closer to our members, closer to the markets that we serve, and try to learn from each other. And of course, try to create business opportunities. And I have here with me as well, Damaris Zampini, that is going to introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. Good morning to everybody on the west side. It's afternoon for me here, and happy to be here. Thank you very much for having me. It's great to see everybody's faces. Always great to participate. And geez, man, I tell you, Karen, I wish you wouldn't have brought that up. This is my second time actually sitting on the board of CCA, so I've been very lucky to serve in that capacity. And I'm always fascinated by everybody's stories. It's great to see people expand into the Latin American market. Whenever I meet people interested in the region, I always say you have to be a part of CCA. I mean, to me, it's really a no-brainer. If you have any type of interest in Latin America, this is a place to go. This is a place to ask questions. I also love, I have to commend, Miguel, of course, for the leadership. Thank you very much. But the team for making the decision and making this kind of more casual forum, because I think that oftentimes people have felt, okay, who do I ask a question? I think all of us on this board, I can really vouch for that, are all really happy to answer questions from anybody. We're all really, really happy to engage. So I welcome that from anybody listening in today who is a member or who isn't a member. Please join and do feel free to ask questions. So what I do, I am the founder and CEO of a consultancy called Strategy. So we typically have helped Alberta companies to expand into new markets. Right now, we're actually working with a little bit of a combination of both. A couple of companies from Western Canada expanding globally, and then we've got a couple of companies which want to come into Alberta, which is pretty exciting. I am an Albertan. I am a hardcore Calgarian. I love my YYC, and I want Alberta to do really great. And I believe that there's tons of opportunities in Alberta to grow. A lot around the ESG space and clean tech is the areas that we've been focusing in, technology innovation and disruptiveness. So we're happy to work with those types of folks, and a lot of great opportunities to bridge between Canada, Alberta, and the Americas. So thank you very much. Look forward to the conversation.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much, Damaris, and all the board that are here. And let's start. I'm going to start with some prepared questions that we have here. Very, very simple and basic question, but I think very important. And it's for all of you. Probably you can have a perspective from your different fields that you are working on. And the first question is, what are the main challenges that you are facing in your current practice in terms of your work with Latin America? Anyone that want to jump in?
I guess I can start. So for me, yeah, thank you. Since I work in business development, for me, one of the main challenges is establishing commercialization methods with companies in Latin America. So the company I work for is in the energy sector. And what I mean by that is companies that would be willing to buy direct from us here in Canada, import, nationalize, and use our product in the country, in Latin America. So this has been a challenge for me. And in line with that, we're trying to make it viable, partnering with local distributors or sales agents. So this is another challenge. And with COVID, I guess everybody's exposed to that, right? Making connections, right, in a virtual mode is also a challenge, right? Of course, there are advantages and disadvantages of the whole virtual way of doing things nowadays. But I guess we can talk further later on. In a nutshell, I guess these are the main challenges for me in terms of developing business in Latin America, Miguel.
Anybody else?
Carl Bauer speaking here. We're just recently, because of everything that's going on with the COVID type scenario, experiencing some difficulties in and just working with individuals and people in parts of the communities, transporting crews to and from within countries, and even within our organization from international sites from Canada to do the work and work with the communities in the regions. So it's become an issue because it reflects on costs. We all know that we have to have different testing and protocols, and we're evolving with that with the governments and with the communities and our own government. The problem that arises when you're doing that is trying to figure out how the hard costs can be translated, because we don't know them very often. They change, and there's a lot of fluctuations, even with our own government. So it's one of the issues that we're recognizing just recently, is dealing with those minute but still significant issues, in the sense that we don't know. They're unknowns. There's some uncertainty even in the regions that we work, and we're trying to engage the people that we're working with and the communities in order to come to a solution for it all. But it leaves a little bit of uncertainty and a little bit of unpredictability that we're trying to deal with. So
Yeah,
For me here, Miguel, thank you. What I have been experiencing and having my job right now in Latin America is, even though the government has been promoting this business and company reach international market, there is a gap between the lack of readiness for these companies and the intention, the good intention from the government to push this company to access international market. Right now, because the COVID is not a secret, that many companies has passing by serious difficulties in the local market. So international market could be a good option. However, the lack of readiness for this small and medium-sized company has been impacting seriously the chance to get international market. So we have been working in trying to close as much as possible the big gap existing right now between government intention to promote international market, access to international market, and the lack of readiness for this company to really go to international. This is maybe the big challenge, the big problem I have been finding in the field I have been working right now.
Okay, thank you very much. Another comments?
I have a comment.
Go ahead,
Miguel?
Benigno.
Yeah, I think it goes along to the activities that we usually undertake. It is so the government of Alberta usually one of the things that we do is trade missions, right? Trade missions in person, and speaking about the culture in Latin America, it is a very highly appreciation in terms of doing business in person. It is you cannot substitute that. So for us, in trade missions, virtually it works. It does work, but it is not the same. Again, we are facing the cultural background. As there's a saying about business development is the best contact sport, right? So people really like to be face to face, and that limits our activity. I mean, we carry on with our initiatives, virtually speaking, but it is a limitation. It is a challenge for us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Benigno.
No problem.
I'd like to add to Benigno's comments and echo his sentiments. With Rainmaker, we also, our business model is to try and organize in-person, in-country missions. And up to this point, of course, that's been impossible. And our virtual B2B meetings have been successful, but culturally speaking, that face-to-face contact is missing, and it's difficult to replace. Just a word on some of the technology and the challenges facing countries and regions that have lower bandwidth. I've had some personal experience with some of the dialogue that I've had with stakeholders in Guyana, where the bandwidth just wasn't there, and I have learned to use WhatsApp. And I know that there's a lot of privacy concerns about that particular application, but quite honestly, it is so widely used in Latin America that it's almost a necessary evil. So just keep that in mind, audience. If you're looking at communicating with Latin America and you're having struggles with bandwidth issues, WhatsApp seems to be the solution.
Thank you, Karen.
That's a great point, Karen. And if I could actually augment that a little bit is, we also use a lot of WhatsApp, but the funny part is Brazil, for example, they had a couple of times where they completely banned WhatsApp. So it totally is used in Latin America. It's also used in Europe, other parts of the world. But I think it's great having a little bit of a backup. And Skype seems to be kind of a secondary platform that people use, more readily available, I find, in Latin America. I mean, particularly in a handful of countries that we've been talking to. So Colombia, Brazil, Panama, a little bit into Mexico as well. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's funny because a lot of North America, which is, again, WhatsApp is a North American application. The Latin America uses it probably 10 times more. So it's interesting. I guess it's finding out what that region is used to using more, and sometimes it may seem, you know, personal for some people. I know some people go, oh, WhatsApp, you know, they find that it may be intrusive or invasive, but it's a great, you know, people can turn it on or off, etc. Right? So I like it and I use it all the time, but it's always kind of good to have a backup, because different countries, I think, will also have and will be having more regulation and different rules around the apps due to confidentiality and any type of information sharing through these platforms. So.
Thank you. Michael, you want to comment?
Yeah, sure. Obviously, there's alternatives. I would just mention that there's a good alternative called Signal. It's just like WhatsApp. It's pretty much the same thing, and it hasn't been banned in quite a few countries so far. So, just wanted to add that in there.
You're Elon Musk.
Yeah, and Signal has been around for a while. It's actually encrypted. It's quite, but that's the one that we prefer whenever we're sharing any type of sensitive information. There's also Telegram, and there's a way to actually set up Telegram to protect any type of data sharing on that platform. And there's a bunch of different private ones that are coming up as well, but Signal seems to be the one that actually rules as far as confidentiality, privacy, and actual content sharing. So they don't actually hold on to the content being shared through the network. So, but yeah, good point.
Excellent. Now I'm going to trying to make a summary that we are going to mention at the end, but what about the question is for everybody as well. What about the positive outcomes that you have found in this pandemic? What has been something that I understand and we understand the challenges that we are having to do business, right? To have this face-to-face, the personal relations, the connections that are very important in business development. But what has been the positive outcomes that you have found in your own practices? I don't know who wants to start.
I guess
aside from working in our PJs.
Yeah.
Good one, Karen. Good one. I guess, and just reflecting on Karen's comment there too a little bit. There is the aspect of it is that you're finding the time is precious. So a lot of us are and take it for granted that we had the coffee sessions or and like someone had mentioned earlier on the board, the FaceTime, especially with culture in South America and even other regions in the world, is very important. So you've had to adjust a little bit, and I really value the opportunity when we get back to it. We're going back into the countries and actually physically doing the FaceTime. That has huge value, and it's not going to be so casually discounted anymore. We value the time. Zoom and all the meetings that have been discussed with Skype have been great, but the time that you get to spend and actually talk with the individuals and the FaceTime, that will eventually become more prevalent when we can get more opened up borders, is going to have more value. So you value the time that you actually get to spend with the people you need to. So I think that is one takeaway that we've got.
I'd like to make a comment on two things that I found are very positive. High level, number one is the fact that people actually go, oh, business can actually happen like this. And for me, I was doing, the Zoom and all the platforms since June of 2019. So all of this wasn't new for me, but in fact, it really kind of cut down, and I'm not saying networking is wasteful, because of course I love networking, and it's very important. But when people would reach out to meet, I knew who was serious about the meeting and who really was just kind of casually fishing around, I guess, or just more casual about the conversation in general. So for me, it was actually great to solidify, it would be like, hey, you want to have a coffee? And people would say like, yeah, let's go next week. And if I would say, okay, let's have a virtual coffee on Wednesday morning next week, And I could tell the difference, the people that were really serious be like, oh, perfect, sounds good. 10 a.m. work for you? Yeah, sounds good, let's book it. And we'd be booked. And if it was somebody who was, more casual, it would we just, don't hear from them for a week. So it was a great filter for me, for our company, for what we're doing. And then the other aspect that I actually find that's a little bit of more of a rudimentary outcome of all of this is I feel that because it was a big global shakeup on a lot of levels, at the personal level, and it really kind of shifted and made people become more conscious of their own goals and how they either fit within that corporation or what their goals and alignment are with their personal journeys, I guess, if I could say that. So there's been a real shift on all of that I've seen, and I love it because we work all around ESGs and the energy mix and future of energy, and all of it really kind of ties back to the values of our company and the alignment of those values with the people that we work with and the partnerships that we have. So I love all of that. It sounds very, maybe like, personal, but it really has impacted. And you literally are going into people's living rooms sometimes, right? Like the people that are not working at their office. I'm lucky because I didn't have to change that, but the people are working from their homes, so you get to meet their kids, and you get a little bit more intimate with who these people are, and you share the stories on how they're feeling, and sometimes it may seem a little bit of waste of time because I guess we're all tired of talking about the same thing, but I think it in a human way it's brought us a lot closer to our purpose, which I think is a great thing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Anything you want to comment? Or Roger,
Yeah.
Roger, yours.
Yeah, no, in terms of positivity, what I see is that people are more open, right, to this kind of a virtual conversation, right? And it's not because Benigno is here, right? But I gotta say it, right? The government of Alberta is doing an excellent job in terms of taking advantage, right, of that openness. Since the company I worked for is more related to the energy sector, right? I touch base a lot with Jeff there in the government of Alberta, right? And he's doing an excellent job working together with the trade commissioners who are based out of the consulates and embassies of Canada in the countries, right? So right now, Jeff and I have been talking, and we have meetings set up in Colombia, right, with help from the trade commissioner and with the government of Alberta, right? So I see this as positive, because before of that, we would have to go physically in a mission, right, in order to get that kind of exposure. Of course, I agree with Carl that the physical meeting, right, the connection you make when you're seeing people. Well, I'm using my hands here, right? I'm Latin America, but your body language and all of that's part of the communication, right? So the connection is not as good, but I think people are more open to have more meetings, right? And applause for the government of Alberta to being able to capitalize on that, and also the trade commissioners. I really take advantage of their kindness and giving me FaceTime and talking to them. So yeah,
we're all gonna be hugging and kissing a lot when we see each other again. That's for sure, right? Our Latino Americanos, we just we love doing that. So
right, yeah.
Canadians, we like to hug too. So
yeah. I just want to thank your kind words, Roger, and I'll keep your name in my list of potential employees. So don't worry about it. I'll keep you in mind. So I just one additional comment in terms of in the positive consequences of this pandemic in terms of the way we are working. I think what has been amazing is to reconnect with some of the people that I haven't seen for a while through these virtual exercises, and people that I haven't seen for years, and suddenly they are present into this. So I just want to share with you, we usually work with a number of local stakeholders, associations, and people that are in those countries. And again, it has been fascinating to reconnect with them without the need of traveling over there.
Yeah. Excellent, Benigno. Thank you.
I'd like to add just a quick thought. This pandemic is not forever. We are, I think, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And this moment in time has given all of us an opportunity to do some preparatory work, which is really, really critical in planning your international expansions. You have to take the time to set some parameters, to do some preparatory work, to establish some connections before you make huge investments in traveling and having in-person meetings with your potential clients. And so in a way, this has caused us all to kind of pause, do that necessary upfront work, and eventually we will be on planes again, traveling to those all important markets. So it has some silver linings too.
Excellent. Somebody else? Frank, you want to?
Yeah, thank you. Personally, I think this pandemic has been very important to let people show a little bit more kindness, much more compassion. People that not used to communicate frequently, now it's a wake up and people trying to get in connection, try to realize what is going on out there. But in terms of the business, according to my experience, the positive I can say is the time usage. Now people use much more efficient using time. For instance, in meetings, even though it's less work than when it's physically face-to-face, when meeting people try to use the time much more efficiently, get the point because time limitation, whatever. So this is something really positive because a lot of agenda, very tight agenda, a lot of meeting to attend. So again, previously, before the pandemic, we go to the meeting, people try to speak different topic, very warm, shake hand. Right now, because the situation, people get the point in the meeting, resolve the issue, and bye, see you next time. So much more efficient in terms of the time usage is what I can perceive, what I can feel right now.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Franklin. And we have Marisabel Pereira, that is part of the board of directors as well. And welcome, Marisabel. Have some comments?
Yes, hi, everyone. This is great to connect with all of you. Yes, I agree with everyone. So this is more efficient the use of time in these meetings, and people have more defined goals as well. So this has been great. I look forward to keep participating in these coffees because I know the experience of all your companies in Latin America is very important and can help us navigate little nuances going into different countries. We are working into getting permits and approvals in Chile, and that has been a little bit of a hassle. And at every finding, we find more and more things to do and undefined cost. So I really look forward to knowing more about Carl's experience and managing this economic risk of having new things to include every time they need an approval or with this COVID situation as well. So thank you for this, Miguel.
Yeah, and I just want to echo that too. There's been a couple of comments made about defining goals and honestly, the risk assessments and being proactive about researching what we're doing. We have there's a lot of people on this call that actually have expertise in that, and we're reaching out to our government officials and people with boots on the ground, various numerous sources. We actually have individuals that are in countries right now that are flying, and that is part of the curveballs we're getting thrown. Is we have an individual in a group right now where some of the job scope has changed while they're in country. and they were booked to fly out on Thursday. They cannot now because of delays in operations in country, and now the next available flight is not until the next Thursday. So there's added costs, there's added uncertainty even with the testing and when they're going to be isolated, things like that, because we deal with not just the Zooms and all the preliminary meetings like we're doing right now, which is great for setting it up, but there's all kinds of things that are just unpredictable, and that was one of them that we had not calculated or budgeted for. And now you have groups of individuals in country for a week longer or more, depending on what's going on, and then you have to arrange and do the permitting and get all the COVID testing and make sure that that's all sanctioned in the protocols. So dealing with the different facets of government locally, even the different levels there and our government are very important. So if you have that idea and that thought ahead of time, you can at least know and not be surprised by that. Okay, I need to do this, or this is the next step. And then you try and mitigate for it, or you try to at least financially capture that. And that is the challenge right now, is because it's still a moving picture. But we're actually functioning doing it, but it's been very stressful at times. But we're finding ways to work out, and a lot of people on this Zoom call have been helpful in doing those assessments. So
excellent. And now maybe in the same dynamic and following in this comment of Carl, how are you adapting your business practices to keep your work relevant and sustainable? I think it's a challenge right now for everybody, but what business practices are you adapting to be relevant and just to keep going for the future, right? So anybody?
I'll jump in. So one of the things that I've been doing, I mean, we've obviously experienced a lot less in the immigration sector, a lot less in the travel and tourism area, in the translation industry. And that obviously affects us all. One of the things that we've been doing is focusing a lot on strategy. I mean, obviously, as was mentioned, we're not going to be here forever. And really, hunkering down on our strategy, creating our vision. What are we going to do when things open up, and how obviously are we coping with this current change? In our case, for example, we've adapted, we've gone to different markets. These are all great questions that we've done in our business that I think that you can apply in any business. And one of my advisors, he was really adamant about putting through, getting those things done that we put off for a long, long time. Now's a great time to work on all that stuff that we've been putting off. What a better time to do all the to-do list during a time where we can't travel or we can't do these sorts of things, where we're hunkered down at home. So yeah, I found that building that strategy and things like that has been super successful for our business, and just and staying with that vision and adapting it as you need to. But yeah, that's what we've done in our company.
Anybody else?
I found that with there is a little more time now, just because the need to actually physically move around to meetings and traveling actually has freed up a little bit of time. And so I'm using that time. I'm finding LinkedIn is becoming more relevant and more important, and I'm reading a lot more of the feed and more of people's posts. And just keeping up to speed on what is going on around the world. LinkedIn seems to be a really good vehicle for that. It does kind of tend to divert you into different rabbit holes, so you have to be kind of vigilant about that. But I do find that there is some really interesting content on LinkedIn lately.
Thank you, Karen.
Personally, because the situation has been impacting everyone without any discrimination. Everyone has been impacted directly or indirectly. What I have been doing in order to keep relevant is be hopeful, try to continue building network, because I found people right now much more open, much more kind to hear about business opportunity. People are much more excited when even though the circumstances, when you talk with anyone about business opportunity, people find like a chance to do something post-pandemic situation. So what I have been doing in conclusion is hopeful, continue building network and try to see that the light at the end of the tunnel is coming soon, because maybe this is the darkest part of the process. So I think after the vaccine was announced, even though the situation the country has been passing by right now because the delayed in the delivering process, everyone expects that 2021 or 2022 could be the light at the end of the tunnel. So I think if you keep the motivation, it's what I have been doing, keep the motivation, contacting people, networking. That way I have been able to keep relevant, keep alive, enthusiastic, and hopeful that at the end of the day, everything is going to be better than now.
Excellent. Thank you, Franklin.
For us, Miguel, we, of course, keep in touch with everybody, right? Maybe the conversations don't need to be only about work and about the activity and that kind of stuff, right? Look into the human factor as well. How's everybody doing? How's everybody keeping up, right? This is also important, I think. And, in line with Michael was saying, right, about, try to think about different approaches, right? Like in my company, right? The products we offer are also applicable to different industries. So what we've been doing is exploring different possibilities, right? So for example, we're in touch with the trade commissioners in Mexico right now. So Vera and Mariana is helping us to get in front of mining companies out there, right? So, what can you do now to, when things turn around, you come out of this even stronger, right? And more diversified from your current portfolios, right? So since people are more open to meet, maybe you can explore different areas, right? There's a lot of overlap between mining and oil and gas, for example, right? So, try to evaluate that. So this is one of the avenues we've been exploring here.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Indeed, I think there's there's been actually a lot of inspiration to collaborate. I think that probably has been, if I were to pick one favorite thing that has happened, everybody, I think the leadership that is old school, that is, I'm going to keep my cards to myself and this is my thing, and I'm not sharing with my competitor. I think that mentality has actually come out to has been proven more and more to not be effective. I think that the world has really been opened up to those who are willing to participate, align with others, partner with others, figure out a way to collaborate in order to augment each other's offering, whether it's service or product. And of course there are, the secret recipes for, and patents and things like that. But there are things that we can share in order for all of us to actually do better and be better and reach greater market. I think that has been something that I personally have loved. And, speaking of cross-industry collaboration, there again, this is a perfect example. Convergex, who's actually ran by my dear friend Kim, they're actually looking at doing one in Latin America, and I'm going, well, you need to talk to CCA, and so that conversation will be happening here in the next couple of weeks. So things like that, right? I mean, there's the world is so open now. We know that when one part of the world hurts, we will eventually feel it one way or another. The supply chains of the world are global. And I also think that it has really encouraged companies to really look outside of their markets that they're in right now and at least consider, right? And to Karen's earlier point, this is a blessing in disguise because it does take time to enter a new market. It does take that commitment to physically go there, shake hands, shake, kiss, bow, right? And be able to understand the norms. And we have time to read about them and learn about them a little bit more. and build a thorough plan in order to get there when we are ready to go. But that collaboration, I think, is something that I really, really have seen leaders in industries, their respective industries and cross industries really take advantage of, because it just has this whole reset, I guess, that has happened to us, has really showed us that it can be done and that it is profitable to do so.
Excellent, excellent, Damaris. Thank you very much. We are very close to the end of the event, but we have a question for our good friend from the Argentina and Canadian Chamber of Commerce, Laura, that is how to take a better advantage of participating in online trade shows. I can comment, or maybe Benigno, you want to, you have participated in different events. Can you comment on that?
Hold on.
Yeah,
I'm on mute. Oh, here you go. Could you repeat the question, please? Can you say it again?
Yeah, how to take better advantage of participating in online trade shows.
I think, I mean, you can take advantage of that. And Laura, I'm glad that you are joining us. And I think it is a great opportunity to do that and take advantage of that. However, we have kind of focused more into more tailored, more focus on smaller trade shows than trade missions, sorry, than trade shows itself. I think the benefit that we have generated actually with Argentina a couple of months ago, when we kind of focus on specific topics, specific clients, and we put together both parts, the buyer and the seller. That's where we see the synergies happening. The trade shows for me online, that's my personal opinion, it is a good thing. It is educational. It is there's ways to networking, but the business synergy that can be created in other modes or other ways to do it could be better. And we experienced that with Laura. We organized, I don't know, close to 80 meetings with 14 companies from Alberta, and I don't recall exactly 50 companies from Argentina. I think that's the best way to do it instead of trade shows. That's why.
Thank you, Benigno.
Miguel, I have recently attended a trade show in November in Brazil. It was a virtual trade show. What I found is, you know, if you have an opportunity to make a presentation or write a technical paper and present it virtually, it attracts a lot more traffic into your booth, for example, right? So I would encourage anyone who's considering a trade show like a virtual like that to, you know, submit an abstract, try to present somehow and be part of it. You know, if you're just having a booth at the trade show and waiting for people to come and talk to you, it doesn't, you know, in my experience in this particular case, right, I didn't see a lot of people coming and, you know, using the platform to chat with me. So what I've done is, since I had the opportunity to see all the list of people who were attending the event, I was the one reaching out to them and say, hey, come over, let's talk, let's chat, and, you know, reaching out to everybody. So this is a nice feature of virtual trade shows, right? Because you can actually see the whole list of people attending the show. So with that, I was able to generate some traffic, but I would say for the exhibitor, it puts a lot more pressure, let's put it that way, right? Because you can just fish anybody walking through your in front of your booth, right? Normally, as you would say hi to somebody who's walking by, right? And then you can grab them and have their attention to you, right? So it takes a little bit more effort, but I found it interesting. Also, there was a round of business to business meetings, and that was very, it worked well as well. So, as everything, there's always advantages and disadvantages, right? So I think the approach you take in a virtual trade show makes a difference.
Yeah, I just want to add to that too. I wasn't a proponent for them earlier on, and our team was. And honestly, it levels the playing field. You don't have to spend lots of money to have personnel go to the trade shows. Thousands of dollars were invested to go to them often, and you wouldn't know who's walking by your booth. And what has happened to us, and literally, I was not a proponent for this. We had 3 new bid requests for work due to these virtual shows, and I would not have guessed that we would have obtained that. And it's because they're kind of focused on you or on the group. So again, I wasn't a big proponent, and we've received inquiries. There was one client that had dealt with one of our employees that's no longer with us, had the wrong information, had the wrong contact information, and it just leveled the playing field with everybody else that was on the virtual show. So I thought it was kind of interesting that way. And now it's become a useful tool from that aspect. We can go to more of them because our budget will allow for it, and we've had success with it. So I'm enjoying that aspect. And you're right, the B2Bs afterwards and the connections you make. When we had the booths and we were at OTCs and other big conventions, you would have a stream of people going through, and you wouldn't know if they were qualified. People change their badges, do all that kind of stuff. But you get a little more focused with the virtual stuff, I think, and I've switched my mind on it now. And I know Damaris has got lots of experience, and Karen and others with the technology, and I'm sold now.
Yeah, I think it's the key word there was focus, right? Because it's a fine balance right now. I mean, we all could be on some type of conference or a meeting or a chat, or there's so much coming out now. And because these different groups and different stakeholders and different conferences have all gone digital, and some of them are, of course, have had to cut down their price because, of course, it's everything that's going on in the world, and some of them are even free. So it's great for learning, but I think on a daily basis we need to know what it is that we're joining for and what our purpose is there. And if you can get ahead of finding out who is there and who you actually want to connect with, and purposely making that list for yourself, so you're actually acting on that, and that follow up and follow through is always important, whether it's virtual or not, right?
Excellent. We are very, very close to the end. We just put up a poll there. Probably you can answer, and we are receiving some answers right now. So how are you connecting with what type of activities have been more effective for you to connect with your customers? So we have here right now 82% says private Zoom meetings with your clients. The second one is B2B type online programs. The third one, online seminars. And yeah, so it's interesting. Awesome. And with that, probably we are closing, but we are going to have these conversations basically weekly. We have for March 2nd, well, February 26th, we have confirmed Natalia Zippersouth with the Canada Guyana Chamber of Commerce, and Karen Fossado is going to be helping us to host that event. And on March 2nd, we have confirmed as well Leonardo Beltran with Sustainable Energy for All and the Institute of Americas. We are going to discuss about sustainable energy and different topics. And I think Karen has some comments from Natalia sent some information that might be relevant for our members. You want to comment on that, Karen?
Yeah. I've actually been talking with Natalia quite a lot. As I mentioned earlier, I'm doing a research project on Guyana and Suriname, and Natalia has been very helpful. And she is going to be our guest at it's the 23rd, Miguel, February 23rd. Okay. And she circulated a notice on behalf of the governments of Guyana and Suriname regarding an RFP or RFI for a construction of a very major bridge crossing the Quarantine River to connect the two countries. So it's a really, really pivotal infrastructure project for both countries. And I think we can send it around to our members, right, Miguel?
Yeah, we can do that.
And when Natalia comes to our weekly chat 2 weeks from now, she will talk a little bit more about that project and some of the other major things that are going on in Guyana.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much to everyone, and all our board of directors that are here with us, and very special to all the audience that are here with us today, and to all our members. We want to work very close with you. If you have any ideas, any comments, anything that you want CCA to take care, because we need to understand more how we can help you better. And we are going to start doing different things, probably the same things that we have done for the past. Networking for us is a very, very important activity. We are going to start to have meet the member chats as well. So you have the opportunity to interact in a break rooms, Zoom breakout rooms with your peers. So we are going to be very, very active. And with these weekly chats, this is the idea, to be more active. And thank you very much. Have a great day, everyone, and hope to see you soon. And thank you very much.
Okay,
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Ciao. Have a great day.
Ciao.
Bye, everyone.